I was about to watch and review Moana 2, which I have done, and then I realised I've never actually reviewed the first Moana. I mentioned it briefly in like a reviews roundup where I mentioned several films in one discussion, but I've never given it the time on its own. So I figured this is the perfect chance to rewatch it before I watch the second film. And I did. I watched them pretty much back to back. I watched them both in the same day. And I didn't love Moana as much as I remembered liking it. I don't know if that means my tastes have changed or if I remembered it more fondly than the actual experience. But either way, still a pretty decent film. Moana was released in 2016. It is, of course, an animated Disney film directed by John Musker and Ron Clements. We have a cast including Auliʻi Cravalho as Moana and Dwayne Johnson as Maui. And Moana feels the calling of the sea, which gives us our fantastic song, How Far I'll Go. I absolutely love it. And she feels like she needs to tell Maui to return the heart of Te Fiti, and by restoring the heart, all goodness will be restored and people will be saved. And it's a great, courageous thing for her to do. Her family are saying, no, don't do this, but she really feels the calling of the sea and feels like this is something that she needs to do. And that's what the film is about. As a narrative, it's okay. In terms of personal preference, I don't love it. It's not my favourite story, but the narrative flows well, the pacing is good, I think there's a lot of substance to it, it has a lot to offer. So in general, it's not too bad. I certainly don't think it's a bad story. The animation quality is absolutely stunning. That's not a surprise, of course, but visually it is an absolute delight. I think one of the main reasons why I like it, well, there are two. One, How Far I'll Go is an absolutely fantastic song. But the other reason are the characters. Moana and Maui are both absolutely brilliant. I love the characters. I think they're really great. So that's something that really, really appeals to me with this film. That's something I remembered liking the first time, and obviously is something that I still enjoyed this second time as well. I think the narrative wasn't as interesting the second time as I remember it being the first time. So maybe that just means that for me, it was better as a one-time watch, and once I know what happens and things, it's not as exciting the second time round, which is not a huge issue. Plenty of films are like that, but the animation is absolutely stunning. The characters are great. We have some great messages about following your heart and sticking to your destiny and doing what you feel is the right thing to do. And ultimately, I can't really fault it. Yes, the second viewing wasn't as strong as the first viewing, but as I said, that's not unique to Moana. There are plenty of films like that. Am I looking forward to the live-action remake? No, I am not. I will watch it, but I think 10 years is far too soon to be doing a live-action remake. If you wanted to do it live-action, you should have done it live-action at the time. But actually, I think it works very well as an animation. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'll reserve judgment for the live-action, but 10 years is definitely not enough time to be bringing out the exact same story. I assume it's going to be the exact same story, but time will tell. For now, Moana is an enjoyable film. I didn't like it as much with the second viewing, but it was still a really strong experience. Beautiful animation, great voice acting, gorgeous music, and a pretty decent story with some nice messages. So all things considered, it's definitely a pretty decent film.